Could this be a push? Could this be a final push for a sign of things to come? Lynne Roberts, head coach, LA Sparks, planting seeds in the ground for Caitlin Clark to blossom and eventually put on a LA Sparks uniform. The talks were once hot. They might be heating up again.
Something feels different around Caitlin Clark, and fans have noticed. Over the past few weeks, rumors about her long-term future with the Indiana Fever have exploded across social media. While there is no confirmed report that Clark wants to leave or that a trade is being discussed, many fans are openly wondering whether another team could eventually make a serious move. One franchise that keeps appearing in those conversations is the Los Angeles Sparks. With a growing young core and recent comments from head coach Lynne Roberts, online speculation has only intensified. Whether it's just fan theories or the beginning of something bigger remains unclear, but one thing is certain: the basketball world is paying close attention. And if these rumors continue to grow, this story could become one of the biggest talking points of the WNBA season.
Off the floor, I just don't think that on the floor it's a good mix. I think they just see the game through two different lenses. And we have been yearning and calling for Stephanie White to actually stand up for, represent, and be front and center for Caitlin Clark. And she's refused to do it at every turn outside of a 30-second clip post the Alyssa Thomas situation in which she backtracked on everything she said.
As the rumors continued to spread, much of the attention shifted toward the Indiana Fever's coaching staff. Throughout the season, fans have questioned late-game decisions, offensive adjustments, and whether the team has done enough to maximize Caitlin Clark's strengths. Every close loss seemed to bring another wave of criticism, with social media filled with debates over coaching, player rotations, and overall leadership. While frustration has grown among parts of the fan base, there is still no verified evidence that Clark has asked to leave the organization. Even so, the constant criticism has created an atmosphere where every decision is placed under a microscope. But the conversation was only beginning.
It made Alyssa Thomas the victim when her superstar point guard was the victim. It just makes no sense how Stephanie White has gone about this. And you see the things that LA Sparks doing. You got Cameron Brink, who's friends with Caitlin Clark. You got Kate Money Martin, who's best friends with Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham will be a free agent at the end of this season. Hey, Sophie Lexi can making her way downtown.
At the same time, the Los Angeles Sparks have quietly become one of the most talked about teams in these discussions. The arrival of Lynne Roberts has sparked optimism about the franchise's future, while the team's young talent has many believing brighter days are ahead. Add in Kate Martin's presence and Cameron Brink's friendship with Clark, and fans have started imagining what that roster could look like in the future. None of this confirms any negotiations are taking place, but it has certainly fueled endless speculation online. Sometimes, a few small connections are enough to create a massive story.
Just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that, and I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay, and I don't want anybody to ever experience that.
What makes these rumors so powerful is Clark's impact on the league itself. Since entering the WNBA, she has brought record-breaking television ratings, sold-out arenas, and unprecedented media attention. Every city she visits benefits from increased ticket sales and national coverage. That means any discussion about her future immediately becomes league-wide news. If a player with this level of influence were ever to change teams, it would be one of the biggest moments in WNBA history. That possibility alone is enough to keep fans watching every development.
And, I think it can be really frustrating to me at times, and I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions, I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And, I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot, and I think at times I've I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard, and there are times that, it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on. And, I would never change any of that for the world. But I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So.
Meanwhile, Indiana still controls the situation. The Fever invested heavily in building around Clark, and the organization has repeatedly expressed confidence in its long-term vision. The roster remains young, and many believe patience is needed before judging the project. Winning often solves problems, and a strong second half of the season could quickly silence many of the current rumors. For now, the front office faces enormous pressure to prove that its plan is working before speculation grows even louder.
When you think about like the passion that these players have and their want to, how do you marry that with the execution that you just talked about in this film session to actually win games?
Yeah, and that's the issue right now is the ability to push through and get out of our own way on some level. But there's an element of toughness and effort that isn't consistent. And last night we just looked disconnected. Maybe that's because we sat out 8 days, didn't play. But I don't like using excuses. We got to be better. We're pros.
Another reason these stories continue gaining attention is the business side of basketball. Clark isn't just a star player. She is one of the league's biggest attractions. Any franchise would benefit from her popularity, sponsorship value, and ability to bring new audiences to the sport. That's why fans constantly imagine different scenarios, even when there is little concrete evidence behind them. A move involving Clark would reshape television schedules, marketing campaigns, and the balance of power across the WNBA.
We all have a job to do. We got to show up and do it better. And like I've said many times, the good news is today it's all about Indiana. We got to turn the page, learn from what we learned from what we saw last night. But that's not going to win any games. The level of connectedness, the max, second, third efforts. If we don't have those, it's not going to be good. But we have the talent needed, even with KP out, even with Cam out, to be more competitive than that.
Yeah. During this stretch, talk to me about just the decision today to just practice.
Still, separating fact from speculation is important. Reports about future trades, blockbuster offers, or secret negotiations remain unconfirmed. Much of the conversation comes from fan theories, media discussions, and online debate rather than official statements. Until Clark, the Fever, or another organization says otherwise, these ideas remain just that, speculation. But as history has shown in professional sports, today's rumor can quickly become tomorrow's headline.
And just say, we're just going to watch film. If you want to shoot a little bit, you can shoot a little bit, but not even really do too much on court and just say, this is what we got to do. Here it is. Let's go do it.
And that's the reality at this point in the season too. We don't need to go through our plays right now today and wear them down physically. It's mentally having the focus and the intensity needed to execute. It's that simple. Now, it's hard to do, but I'm not saying it's simple to do, but it's a simple fix. That's what it is. Being in the right coverages, whatever it is, offensively being where we need to be. Do your job, all of us.
For now, all eyes remain on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The rest of the season could determine whether these rumors fade away or grow even stronger. A playoff push could change the narrative completely, while continued struggles would only fuel more questions about the future.
The vote is a mix between the fan vote and then players and media, but it still just didn't work out in their favor. What else does a person have to do if they're averaging 24 points, 6 assists, a 5'8" guard shooting above 50% from the field? What else can you do?
Other than be super active on social media, nothing. That seems to be what the parameters are. But KP's about winning. She's about being great, being excellent. She'll take it in stride.
What are you going to, if you haven't been able to talk to her about it yet, when you do, what are you going to say to her about it? Because, she's having a season that is worthy of being an all-star starter. Well, MVP, but an all-star starter just for the base level.
I haven't talked to her yet about it.
One thing is undeniable. Clark has become the center of the WNBA conversation, and every move she makes will continue to capture national attention. Whether she stays in Indiana for years or eventually writes a new chapter elsewhere, the next phase of her career is already one of basketball's biggest stories.